Alright, my name is Bree, this is Lauren and Ethan, and today we'll be talking about the Homeless Garden Project. So our problem can be categorized into three different sections. First of all, it's what the shelters experience, the high cost of food for feeding so many people. At $3 a day, or $3 a meal, with 3 meals a day was the average that we figured that we came up with. It makes to be $54,000 a day to feed all of Indiana's homeless population. That translates to over $19 million a year. So these are very high costs they're experiencing. And then what the homeless is experiencing is a lack of transportation, lack of opportunities, and lack of exposures to potential employers. And then finally the employers. I personally have 2 cousins that are located in Darmstadt, Indiana. And they have great businesses. They have high demand for lawn mowing services and machine power washing services to assist the machinery and everything. And they just can't keep people to work and actually do the laborious kind of jobs. They're just not highly in demand. So that's what the employers are experiencing.
So our solution is the Homeless Garden Project, basically taking the homeless and giving them the responsibility for taking care of these gardens. These gardens would be placed right by the shelters. It would cut food costs. Like I said, give them jobs. Eventually, give enough responsibility for future employers, for, like Bree mentioned, these low-skilled jobs, to come and give these people transportation they need to get to their jobs or what have you to connect to the shelter. So the industry trends for homelessness is sustainability, to make sure the homeless stay out of their former situation, to stay out of homelessness. One of the examples in the industry is the housing first approach, which we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment here. But basically what that is it's just giving the homeless a home, just simple like that. Another trend that we want to get a hold of is the blighted homes. And just in Evansville, there's 113 homes just the past year. They were given $2.5 million to basically take down the homes and make them into an empty lot. And we think we could put community gardens in those places.
So the opportunity side, on any given day, there's around 532 homeless people in Evansville. And with all these homeless people, there's only 8 homeless shelters, which are all typically at max capacity every day. But some of these homeless shelters are for specific types of people. For example, the YWCA Battered Women's Shelter. That's for women who are seeking refuge from abusive relationships, spouses, stuff like that. So they're very specific groups. So there's only 3, I believe, that are for basically anybody. So the competitive advantage, our main competitor is the housing first approach. So with this, it gives permanent housing to homeless as soon as possible. And it also gives voluntary supportive services as needed, but they don't follow through with that a lot. Like some of them just kind of fall through the cracks. And with this, it is funded by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. And just 2 shelters alone last year lost $550,000 in federal funding.
So with losing that kind of funding, it's very important to be able to accommodate those losses with cutting the cost of food and everything. Now, putting the cost of food aside, the bottom line in addressing homelessness is relationships, is what we found through research. And so with the housing first approach, you lose access to the homeless. You lose the possibility of giving them medical attention or the services they need or sobriety checks and that sort of thing. And then there's no in-between phase really, it's just kind of putting them in the home. So it's not really that transitional period of like the steady responsibility, and the relationships they're lost. So it's really losing access, and that's where we have a big advantage. So our value proposition is for the homeless population and the shelters that house them who need to cut costs with food and gain exposure to job opportunities. The Homeless Garden Project utilizes gardening to cut costs while simultaneously exposing the homeless to employers looking for unskilled labor. Unlike the Housing First approach, the Homeless Garden Project will cut food costs, maintain access to the homeless, and match the homeless to eligible employers looking for the right workers. Any questions?
Not today.
Yeah, no, we won't take questions today, thanks.